Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to do a double stacked boutique. It's quite a popular style, but it's not one of my personal favourites, so it's one I rarely make myself. As you can see, it's got the two layers and you can fancy these up and add extra side bows and things like that depending on what's your personal preference. And I've got a 3 spike set on the back. So there we go, and as normal we need our trusty glue gun. We need some ribbon. For the version that I'm doing, I'm going to do a 2-inch ribbon, but I'll put the measurements up for 1.5 inches and 2-inch ribbon, which we're going to be making in today. And you'll need your tape measure to measure everything, your scissors to cut all your ribbon, your extra strength thread or upholstery thread or pearl thread, anything that isn't cotton that isn't going to snap, your lighter to heat seal all your ribbon, your needle to thread everything, an alligator clip to attach your bow to, and some pins to hold everything in place. And I will say now, just so you don't have to watch me making those for 45 minutes, I have already made the first version, well, one of the layers already, just so we don't have to watch me, like I said, for quite a long time, because that's no fun for anyone. And for the 2-inch, let's get the measurements, it is 36 inches and 38 inches for your main bows. This is a 36-inch version, and you will need roughly 9.5 for spikes, but I will show you something with the spikes in a minute, because if you haven't got a measurement for them, there's a way to check roughly how to work out for each one. And I've got my corresponding, well, it's a coordinating 9mm to do the centre in a minute. And these are my spikes. We'll put them to one side and I'll show you how to build them. Again, I personally prefer a back bow or a base bow to spikes, mainly because I'm just not a fan of them personally. It's just all about your own preferences. So what I've done, as you can see, I've taken my 38 and I've folded it directly in half, and I have heated it and creased it, and I have also sealed both ends, and I've done a little pinch right on the centre on both. This is just for guiding the figure 8 as we do this. Okay, so we've got our centre here. We're going to take that end this side. I'm going to use that pinch as a guide. Use it and get it directly over there, and then take one of your pins and thread it through so that holds in place. And then we're going to take this side and we're going to go around like so, overlap it correctly so you've got a perfect square in the centre like this. And then we're going to do a pin there, and then we can take that one out because we want as few as possible. So basically you're left with this shape. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and what we do is if you fold that in half so you can't see any of the white, on your ribbon. It's got this side. I've done the same that side. And you want to heat seal this because we want to be able to see the crease nice and clearly for when we're lining up our centres. Okay, that's one side. Same this one. A little bit of heat, pinch it a little till you're certain that you've got enough of a crease that you'll be able to see it when we overlap in a minute. And what I also do is I also do it over here, again, just for guidance on the centre. Okay, so then we can open that back up. So we've got this, and as you can see, you've got two nice clear creases, and you've got your nice crease in the centre. And bring this up, make sure it's all still squared. And what I do is remember your corner. So you've got this bit. What you want to do is line up your crease directly with the corner as normal and hold that there. And then you bring this side and make sure your crease lines are directly over one another, like so. And you've lined that crease line up with that corner there. And then we repin and take that original one out. And as you can see, you've got this shape, which is, like I said, the boutique-y type shape that we use. And we're going to take this, and what I do, so I just hold it like so we can't see any of that square underneath, and we start directly from this triangle in 1, 2, 3, 4, take your pin out, 5, 6, come out through that point, that side. Okay, then you can do your 3 creases like so, and pull everything through. And then I always wrap backwards first and then wrap round a couple of times. And then we're going to stitch off in the back. Okay, and we've done exactly the same thing on the 36. Now again, these are all personal preferences. Roughly, when you're doing these sort of overlaid or overlapping ones, you need about a 2 to 5 inch difference between each layer, depending on how much of a gap you personally prefer. So you can sort of play around with it and play around with different measurements until you get the look that you most like. Because like I said, for me, it's all about what you like the best, not what everyone else likes. So if you enjoy making it more space between the ribbons, that's perfectly fine. If you like it really close together and like completely nestled into one another, then you do it that way. Like I said, whatever works best for you. And like I said, it's always best to play around and get the measurements that you feel most confident with, because if you constantly follow other people and it's not quite sitting right, then like I said, play around with it until you find something that works. So as you can see, we've now got the 2 versions. Actually, I may have lied. That's a 38, that was 36. What we're going to do in a minute. And this will look a mess until we've literally wrapped it together, added the spikes and blasted it with hairspray, because like I said, it's one of these ones. They look quite simple, but it takes a little bit of manipulation to get it right, because like I said, at the moment that looks like an absolute disaster, but once it's all done it will start looking like this. And here's the other one I did earlier as well. Like I said, thought I'd do some matching ones for my nieces. So like I said, don't be too concerned if it does look like a complete disaster as you first start building it. It will look better. Okay, so again, I'm going to do the spikes. This is not something I normally do lots myself. Like I said, I'm a big fan of a base bow instead, but I will show you. So I've got 3 times 9.5 here in inches, and I've got my scissors. You fold this in half, and I use my thumb as a guide, and that's a 45-degree angle. And what I do is a move to pinch it here, and then run my lighter down like that to seal them. You get this look. And do the same, exactly the same the other side. Fold it in half. Use my thumb. Some people do these all at once. Again, whatever works best for yourself and you're most comfortable with. And then what I do is I layer them all on top of one another. And as you can see, my bees are fairly accurate. The more you practice them, the better you'll get. And then I fold them all, and then I fold them in the middle like so. Take my lighter, and this is just to get a middle of all three, so we can get our tails all correct. Then I put a pin directly in the middle, or you can go from underneath like so. And what I like to do is I like to keep them bottom one, bottom, and then take these two and have them sit. Just twist it so you can see the pattern. So as you can see, you've got that one, you centre one at the back, and then you cross overlaid. Okay, now you can play around. You can have the top layer, that one at the top, and move your spikes around, whichever one you personally prefer. Again, it's doing what you are most comfortable with. Just really put everything straight. Okay, and once I'm happy with everything, what I do is I fold it directly in half. Make sure everything is lined up like so. You can put a crease and this is for when you put your stitches on. Okay, I'm just going to take that pin out now. And again, you start at your cross and you go across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then squeeze to get your creases. Bring that a little bit closer because it's not focusing today. That's better. And then wrap round as normal and stitch off in the back. And this is single-sided rainbow ombre ribbon that I'm using today. Okay, so here is what your spikes will look like when they're all laid flat. And as you can see, you got your spread like that, and like I said, every different pattern that you can do gives you a slightly different look. Okay, so we're going to put them to one side for a minute. Like I said, work out which ones are bigger, which ones are smaller. Because if we do it the wrong way around, they're definitely not going to fit. That's the biggest. So mermaid's biggest, ombre is the middle. That would make sense with my spike pattern actually. I know I've done it for a reason. So we're going to put that like that for a second. And what I like to do, so I can get it to focus. That's better. From behind, right through that centre there. I go up, so it comes right up through the centre of the third bump. Pull that through. Take your largest layer, and again, right through the centre of those two creases. Bring it up, right through your third one. Move it to where you want it to sit, and do exactly the same with your last layer. Right through your back centre. I didn't come up through the third, so I'll just move that. There we go. Right through the centre of the third crease. Nestle it into your loops below. And what I do is I pull this really nice and tight, and this will take out some of the bulkiness of the middle, because this is one of my pet hates with these ones, massively high middles. So like I said, pull that really tight, and like I said, this is why you need the extra strength thread, and then pull it really tight as humanly possible, like so. Like I said, you want to do this at least twice. You can add a glue if you want to instead, but like I said, I just think this takes out the bulk. And then you stitch it off in the back as you normally do, and like I said, pull it as tight as you possibly can before you stitch it off. There we go. And as you can see, that's taken out quite a bit of the bulk compared to a glued version, and it will also sort of help the sit of your loops in a minute. And once you've got everything where you want it, you will definitely 100% want to hairspray these into submission, basically. As you can see, it's starting to look how it ought to now. So I don't know what's wrong with the camera today, my focus doesn't seem to be quite as good as normal, so apologies for that. There we go. As you can see, starting to take its shape. Like I said, keep up your manipulation until you are 100% satisfied. And then what I do at this point, normally I would add the clip and add the middle, but in this situation I would always set it first, because if you don't, it's going to be tricky. So this is my hairspray box. Make sure you've got your spikes laid how you want them on this one as well. Readjust your loops if they move around. Okay, and I use this one, which is, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, Catonics Max Hold Hairspray 24-hour humidity resistant quick drying hairspray from Tesco's. Always do this in a well ventilated room. I've got all my windows open and my door open and everything else, and even then it still sometimes chokes me a little bit, so give it a nice good blast and leave that to set for a few minutes. and once it's completely 100% dry, you can add your clip and centre your middle, and like I said, if you want to at this point as well, you can still manipulate it a little bit more, shape it a little bit before it completely dries. There we go. And what you will eventually have, like I said, once you've centred everything, is one of these. And like I said, this is a 1.5 inch version. I've got the measurements for that, but again, they'll be in the description. This one is a 28 inch and a 30 inch. And what I'll just show you for spikes. What I do, instead of doing exact measurements, because again, spikes are personal preferences, some people like just a tiny bit behind the boat, some of them like them to be a bit further out. What I do is I build the shapes and sit them into each other, and then I go like this. And what I do is I work out just a little bit, like 2 centimeters over each side of the boat, the longest part of the bow, and then I'll just fold it and use that as the spike size. And like I said again, it's whatever you personally prefer. If you like long tails that sit a bit further out, that's fine. If you like the shorter ones that barely show behind your bow entirely, do it that way. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I release new videos. It's normally on a Monday and a Friday, but it is more often at the moment. If you need any further help with anything whatsoever, I'm over under Catherine's Ribbon Bows and Tutorials on Facebook. You can ask me for more help and more tips and things like that. And if I'm about at the time, I will help you as much as humanly possible. Thanks for watching. Bye.